that you attend. A lot of you are attending a church thinking that you're getting the word, fellowship, all those good things. And I did a video earlier, I will say probably about a week ago, showing y'all a full list of about 1,000 churches. It was 20 pages full of churches. And why are these churches on this list? Well, this is a list of, I would just say, these churches that are on this particular list are, how do I say it? How do I say it? How do I say it? They're indoctrination camps to a certain degree. Yesterday, they were normal churches, but now, because of IHOP, the country that we don't necessarily speak of, they spent about $40 million on the just all these churches. I think it's like virtually every mega church in the West Coast. Every mega church in the West Coast is on this list. And they're literally just paying churches millions of dollars in order to talk about IHOP, talk about how great IHOP is. So we're going to go down this rabbit hole. And I'm going to start with this, just in case you're confused.
World as a Jew.
So this is
as a resurrected man, Jesus.
So this right here, this is Jack Hibbs. And this, to a certain degree, is what they're actually trying to manipulate the people into thinking.
God came to this world as a Jew. He's coming back as a resurrected man, Jesus Christ, not only the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, but he's Jesus Christ, King of the Jews. His throne will be in Jerusalem, the Jewish capital.
So to go a little farther, this is what's going on. So if you see my video about the list of churches, put a 1 in the chat and drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you at. A lot of you guys said that the list of churches was difficult for you to see. Well, I cleaned it up and I'm going to give you a better way of seeing the list and everything. So put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that video, and we're going to go down this rabbit hole. So, and I got my girl Allie on here. Hold up. Say what's up, Allie and Chris.
Hey.
Good to see you, Aaron.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on? What is going on? So let's start with this, and then we'll do some commentary, all right?
Okay.
So everybody, drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you're at. Drop your city in the chat. Let me know where you're at.
Other layer that makes this evil. Millions of American evangelical.
So we're going to break all of this down piece by piece.
But there's another layer that makes this even stronger: religion. Millions of American evangelicals believe that Israel's survival fulfills biblical prophecy. Groups like Christians United for Israel, led by Pastor John Hagee, openly preach that supporting Israel is God's will. That means millions of votes tied to religion, a powerful bloc no president wants to lose. In 2018, when Trump moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, it wasn't just for Israel, it was also a gift to evangelicals. So we have money, we have lobbying, we have religion, but what about consequences? What happens when U.S. leaders keep supporting no matter the cost? Here's the contradiction. America claims to defend democracy and human rights, yet it bankrolls a system of apartheid, illegal settlements, and endless bombings. So, is Israel ruling the American government? The evidence is there. The billions in aid, the lobbying machine, the narrative control, the religious influence, and the political cost of saying no. A country of 9 million people dictating policies of a superpower of 330 million. But
so, just to give you guys the foundation of this conversation, a lot of this has something to do with Turning Point USA, Erika Kirk, and Charlie Kirk. So at the top, you have religion, because I say religion is before politics. Virtually every one of these characters, whether it's a politician or anybody really anywhere, they always control the narrative with whatever religion they are, whether it's Catholicism or being a Christian or all this stuff, right? And the reason why they do that is because the church and religion is, I would say, the precipice or the foundation in influence. Like, because, most people are religious in some type of way. So in order to influence a group of people, the first thing most people have to do, because I don't do it, so I'm not going to say everybody, they have to say, I'm a Christian, I'm this, I'm that. And then when you say that, it brings people closer to you. And then you start like testifying and tell people your testimony or whatever, right? And now people get emotionally invested, right? And then you got schools. Young people in schools are easily influenced because they're young, right? Because we're looking at influence. So religion influences the adults, and then it's simply easy to influence the kids, right? So then how do they influence both groups? Turning Point USA, Charlie Kirk, not Erika Kirk, but Charlie Kirk. And the thing about Charlie Kirk,
very intelligent.
I was just saying it's an intelligent creation.
Yeah. Yes. Do y'all remember, this is just a side note, do y'all remember with Facebook, when Facebook first started, it was just for college students?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we found out that this young curly head dorky looking guy created Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. And he looks so innocent with the little curly hair. Do you know Charlie Kirk is somewhat the same avatar?
Very similar.
A young, white, dorky, curly hair dude.
I never quite thought about it that way, but it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. It's an interesting perspective, Aaron.
Yeah. So when you put the face as a young, dorky, curly head, college looking kid, because Charlie Kirk started as an 18-year-old, not as a 20 or 30-some-year-old, right? So he was this young, dorky little dude, right? And next thing you know, it becomes palatable, right? Yeah. So then Turning Point USA starts growing. And of course, it comes religion, because you got to have religion in there. And then you got Turning Point USA Faith.
Yeah.
And enter in the form of the control.
Right. And then there needs to be the muscle. See, there has to be muscle. See, in every drug lord, drug game, every drug dealer, there's the drugs, there's a drug dealer, the drug user, but you gotta have the muscle. You gotta have the muscle. You have to have the big dude, you have to have the guns. So next thing you know, Turning Point USA, which turned into Turning Point Faith, has the military.
Yeah.
People in the military is what I'm saying. So now you have military individuals, and we talked about this like not even that long ago, where you have these military individuals that actually are the muscle. Because you may say, well, this isn't selling drugs, this is just talking to the people. Why do you need military? Well, you don't need military to beat up anybody or to guard anybody. Not really. He's just going to colleges.
Yeah.
You need military clearance.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Yep.
That's what I'm saying. We just talked about it. You need the ability to go places or utilize planes to go places that normal people can't go. We all know, we talked about how there was a military plane at every or almost every last one of Turning Point USA stops with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
That was the military angle. So now you have a system. You have religion, you have schools, you have the kids, you have Turning Point USA, you got the Avatar, which is the dorky curly hair guy that everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, you're so innocent. Oh my God, we love you simply because you look like you're harmless. Oh my God, right?
Yep. The pusher.
And then, the pusher. And then you got the military to actually take him or push him into areas that this little young curly head dude couldn't necessarily get into by himself. And then when you mix in the military pastor, Frank Turek, Jack Hibbs, Rick Cutler, now you have military pastors. You have pastors and military, pastors, military.
Which have a lot of control.
Everybody in this situation is a pastor that used to be military.
They have control of the narrative of
and access.
Access to go on these missions, like we were talking on the phone. Like they can go, for example, if anybody knows, probably that they've done some research on Charles Highwalk. He was best friends with Butch, and he's from Grace Heber City, Utah, and he's ex, I don't know if I could say it, ex whatever, law enforcement, and XFED. Like, I don't know if I can say it.
Fed. Yeah, you say Fed.
Okay. Yeah, he's ex-Fed, and now he's law enforcement. I don't know what I can say anymore.
Yeah.
So he's that, and now he's doing missions in Haiti, Dominican, Colombia, Brazil, and Venezuela, like all these places. And I'm thinking, why? But he's not just doing missions to preach the Bible. He's also doing military training for the Colombian police. Now, how do you get access to do that? Like you and I, if we wanted to be a pastor, we can't just jump on a plane and go teach people. Yeah. But he's also handing off like New Testament, different kind of Bibles to these people, preaching kind of like the pro stuff that Jack does and Rob does. So I feel like they're all connected because I already watched some of Charles's sermons, and I said, oh, this is all connected to the TPUSA thing. And that's why, like I was telling you, we got to do a pastor series, because this is, you can't break this down in one day.
You can't.
It's a really huge rabbit hole. It's a big rabbit hole, and the more we keep looking around, there's just more connections being made, and the wider the web gets. And it just seems that as long as we don't stop looking, we're going to keep finding stuff.
Yeah. All right. So let me show the actual list of the churches. So a lot of you were having trouble viewing the list. So let me show y'all this. And a lot of you say you watched that video. Okay. So
long list. I didn't watch the video. So you got to give me a heads up of what's happening here.
Okay, so here is the list of churches, and there was a lot of people in the comments. And in the chat right now, let me know if you have or do see your church on this list, because this is really scary if you just think about it. It's so I'm gonna scroll through here. I'm gonna take myself out of it. I want to scroll through here just a little bit, but if you want to get the PDF, you can go to my Patreon, and I put it on my Patreon, and it's free. I got a paid Patreon and I got a free Patreon. So you can go on my Patreon, and that's where I put the actual PDF file where you can actually download anything you want to. So I'm dropping the join my Patreon link in the chat. So here we go. These are the schools, and let me know, can y'all see this list a little bit better, or is this fuzzy also?
No, I
so
can
let
see
me
that.
know. You can see it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
we zoomed it in a bit too. It's pretty easy to read.
Yeah. And what does this list mean?
So this is a list of churches that are on the indoctrination list that the pastors, that IHOP is actually infusing in all of these churches. So let me do this real quick. Let me play this, and because this explains it a little bit better. So because it's so much where I want to make sure everybody gets what they need. So let me take this down. And let's see.
Is that just some?
So this is from afar. What church you go to. This is a very important video for you to watch. So make sure to watch it all the way to the end, because this information I'm about to show you not only affects you, but affects your family members. Because what is happening right now is what I call a church psyop. And a YouTuber that brought this to my attention is named Zach Costello. Make sure to follow him. I'll put his channel in
the state government of Israel in information campaign. There are Christian front organizations and evangelical Christian churches working directly for the state government of Israel in America to influence and educate Christian Americans. And I think Turning Point USA Faith might very well be one of those organizations, as you're about to see.
And that part right there is, in my opinion, the most important part of this, because, all right, so that gives you a good understanding of what everything is and what is going on. It's Farah has registered themselves in order to be able to like immerse themselves into all these churches, and these churches, and this is real. Somebody says, is this real? This is 1000% real. And it's scary. It's very scary because it puts you in a position where you just like, wait, I can't even go to church. Yes, your church is now an indoctrination camp. So I'm playing it right now. So I'm gonna start over right here. So I need everybody, if you want to, screenshot these churches right now. So it's going to run, and every couple seconds it's going to switch to another church. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna play it right now. So get the screenshotting and see if your church is on here. I'm gonna leave it alone. We can talk, but y'all get the screenshotting. And if you don't want to screenshot the screen, and if you want to go straight and get the actual PDF, just join my Patreon, and it's for free. Just go on Patreon and you'll be able to see it, and it's all there. So we're just going to run through this because a lot of people was like, I can't see it. It's too small. It's too fuzzy. I'm like, okay. And then they said, where's the PDF? So I got all the answers for all of you. You know, if you got any other questions, drop it in the chat, because what I wanted to do is make sure that I'm serving my audience to the best of my ability. So, but what are y'all's opinions on these indoctrination camps that used to be churches?
I mean, I feel like this is completely valid. And I think that there's even more than just this list. I'm looking at the list. I'm like, hey, where's this church? Where's this church? All these churches are in my brain right now. And these are just, these are a lot, but there's probably a lot more that are not even on here. Right. Like I said, when I watch a lot of these sermons, they all unify. We've talked about this before. They're trying to unify everything as one. And we've spoken about this on your live stream before regarding Rob and Jack and Amir and now Charles and all these other new pastors that are they're all saying the same things. Maybe they never used to back in the, the 70s, 80s and 90s, but I feel like it's completely changed now from the 2000s and up. They have been slowly changing all the churches into one massive, I don't know what you want to call it. Camp. I'm scared of how to say it, but yeah. You want to say concentration camp? Okay, yeah.
I say indoctrination camp.
Indoctrination.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm saying indoctrination.
Allegedly,
that's what it is. They're indoctrinating you into. Yeah. So somebody says, "How about Praise Chapel?" Rewind, do what you got to do. That is the list of churches. Y'all got on me talking about I can't see. I need more information. That is the list of churches. If you wanted to go slower, or if you want to be able to see the whole PDF, The link to join my Patreon is in the chat. I'm not trying to make no money. I'm always trying to make some money, but I'm not charging money for the list of churches because that don't make no sense. All right. I just gave you a list. Why would I charge you for a list that I just gave you? But if you want the actual PDF, join my Patreon. The Patreon is in the chat, and just click the link and join the Patreon, and you'll be able to see everything, and you'll have the PDF for yourself. But if you wanted to just screenshot everything, that was the list of churches right there. Because y'all got mad. I was like, all right. Because y'all said it was too fuzzy. So I made it a point. Remember, I told you I'd be spending 6 hours and 3-4 hours trying to put all this stuff together. I made it a point where I'm able to make it where y'all can see it and it's legible. But put a 1 in the chat if that list was legible this time and it was good. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all was able to see it. So let's keep going. Do y'all have anything to say?
We noticed something.
I think I noticed something. I zoomed it in as it was scrolling through, and I could be wrong, but I thought I saw both Rob's and Jack's churches there. I noticed somebody in the chat asked about Heber City. I didn't see that at first glance, but it's definitely some. Did you see it?
I saw it could be just named differently, but it said Grace Church. So I don't know if they're not saying it correctly, and how many Grace churches there are, but definitely Grace Heber City should be mentioned in there because they follow the same stuff that Jack and Rob do. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've seen both Jack and Rob's church in there. When people go through, if they just want to double check and keep me honest on that. But just that first glance there, I think I saw that. I'm pretty sure.
A lot of Calvary churches in there. A lot of them in there.
A lot.
I would say every Calvary church is in here. Because they're Calvary churches.
They're very pro. Whenever you listen to any of their sermons, you know what they say. You just played one of his videos that I gave you that video. You know what he says about, if you're not going to heaven, if your church is not
going to heaven, if you're not going,
I don't care what you say, you're not going. You're living a lie, is what he says. So, guys, God for me and Jesus for me is in here. I don't need to go anywhere. And like me and you have said that before, because me and you have been through certain not similar, but we've been through some pastor or church issues ourselves. So I don't need to go into a congregation to feel a certain way. And maybe before I did, I've been through stuff. So I don't need that. I can say a prayer in my own home. Yeah. And I have my Bible. So,
and if you want to go to church, for anybody watching, is okay. Just know.
I'm not saying.
Absolutely.
If it's on this list or if it's not on this list, it's important for you to pay attention to what the pastor is talking about and make sure he's not slowly or in some type of meticulous way trying to indoctrinate you into being one of these IHOPian people, because that is what they're doing. They're spending millions of dollars in order to bribe all these churches in order to be IHOPian and to teach their people to welcome IHOP. So with all that being said, let me play some more of these videos because I want to give y'all a very good understanding of why this is so terrible and disgusting. Because some of y'all are like, okay, why? Well, okay, what are they saying? Because I had people saying, okay, my church is on this list. Now what? What does that mean? What is the church trying to do? So check this out.
Basically, Christianity without.
All right, so this is more or less what they're trying to say.
Kyle thinks Judaism is basically Christianity without Christ. Kyle is wrong. Kyle hears it all the time. Judeo-Christian values. We share the same God. Jews are your elder brothers in the faith, goy. But Kyle never looked into what Judaism actually teaches. See, modern Judaism is built on a book called the Talmud, not the Old Testament that Kyle knows. It's a 6,000-page compilation of rabbinical writings, debates, rulings, and traditions. It was finished centuries after Christ, and much of it is an attack against Christ and Christianity. For example, in Sanhedrin 43a, Jesus is accused of sorcery, and they say he was justly executed. In Gittin 57a, he's said to be boiling in excrement for all eternity. In Shabbath 104b, his mother, the Virgin Mary, is called a harlot, and goes on to say that...
And these are like coming from the Talmud, not the Bible, just so you know.
Jesus is the bastard son of a Roman soldier. And Jesus isn't the only one who's attacked in the Talmud. The Talmud also teaches about goyim, or anyone who isn't Jewish. That would be you, Kyle. And the Talmud isn't kind to these goyim. In Baba Metzia 114b, it says goyim are animals in human form. Sanhedrin 59a says that if a goy studies Jewish law, he deserves death. Avodah Zarah 26b forbids helping a goy woman in childbirth, even if she might die. And there's a lot more verses like this in the Talmud, some of them so disgusting I would get banned on this app for even reading them. Most modern Jews will dismiss it out of hand, or say that these horrible statements are just debate among antiquated rabbis, but in Hebrew yeshivas, these teachings are still taught today. Kyle thought the Talmud was just another holy book. Now Kyle knows it's the cornerstone of a religion that rejects and hates Christ, and despises Christians.
Candace, didn't Jesus say you're supposed to love your enemies? When Jesus said that you're supposed to turn the other cheek, where have you ever turned the other cheek?
And this is the manipulation. Jesus said they don't even like Jesus, but they're saying, hey, Jesus said, turn the other cheek. You don't even like Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't even believe it.
Go ahead. What you say?
Just they don't even believe in him, but they're trying to quote him like, you know, they're trying to, it's all
they're
like
weaponizing his word.
They spit on the people that walk by that even speak about it.
Y'all listen to this. This is crazy.
Candace, didn't Jesus say you're supposed to love your enemies? When Jesus said that you're supposed to turn the other cheek, where have you ever turned the other cheek? When Jesus said that the meek shall inherit the earth, if you are a Christian, then I am the second coming of Christ.
Okay.
Here's what I would like to say to you, Rabbi, since you're quoting scripture. The one that's relevant to me is, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness. And if you'd like to dive into a little more scripture, I think what's relevant is Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
Wow. And
That's good.
that is literally what they're doing. These people are false prophets, and they're pushing your pastor to be just like them. Hold on, one more thing, because I got so much. This is Charlie Kirk right here.
And it says so in Revelation. Synagogue.
And this is the thing about Charlie that I'm just a little confused about. So right here, Charlie Kirk was arguing with a young man about IHOP. And he's admitting that he knows what's in the Talmud, and he knows about the tadpoles and what they do to tadpoles. And he's like
911. He knows that too.
Right. So the thing about it is, how are you arguing with this man? And then you turn around next Thursday and you wake up and like, oh my God, they're terrible people. Who are you?
Okay, because Charlie was trained and told to look what is in the back of that tent. What does it say? That's a Jewish name right there. And who sponsors that? So he has to project that, and he's already tried to do say in many meetings, like, how do I talk to young students about this pro IHOP thing, how or non IHOP thing, or whatever IHOP? How do I talk to the students? But he's always been told to say certain things. And
so are you saying that he wasn't utilizing his own brain and he was told as a grown-ass man?
No.
And you think that is right? And you don't think he's a piece of shit for that?
I feel like he was pressured by many, many people to say certain things when it came to that specific topic.
But at the end of the day, as a leader, regardless of how anybody thinks, if you want people to follow you, they have to follow what you believe in and not what somebody else believes in.
And he started changing his ways after the genocide and after all that stuff that was going on.
Whoa. Please don't say that word.
Okay.
Whoa. But the thing about it is,
I don't know what to
and
say
this
anymore. I could say fed, but I can't say. I don't know what to say anymore.
okay, please, you cannot say that G word. So the thing about it is, if you, okay, you cannot turn around and wake up one day and say the thing that you've been talking about, you have been justifying, you have been like taking up or worshiping or whatever. He's over there like hunching the damn wall one day, and now he's over here talking about, oh my God, why are we going to war with Iran? No, bro, like what are we doing?
I don't know. He's
I
getting paid.
I don't respect people like that. But the thing about it is, people are like, oh my God, Charlie, and nobody deserves to die. I'm not saying, you know, it's bad. They were sad. But the thing about it is, Charlie was trash, just like Erika Kirk was trash. And I'm okay with calling Erika Kirk trash, but we can't call Charlie trash too, because he started. He's the one who married her. So as time goes by, I'm learning that Charlie Kirk was the problem in the beginning. So listen to this for those who have never heard this.
Israel wants the New World Order. They're the synagogue of Satan. It says so in Revelation, Charlie.
You think
the synagogue
Israel
of Satan.
is the synagogue
the
of
synagogue
Satan?
of Satan.
Okay, actually, it doesn't say that.
In the Bible, it says that there will be a group of people who call themselves the chosen people of Yah, but they are the synagogue of Satan. Charlie, we live in the end times.
Let me ask you, since you believe we live in the end times, what do you think? Do you think the modern creation of Israel is fulfillment of biblical prophecy?
It is not.
Okay, then we disagree. Then what do you think it is?
See, he says, then we disagree.
Yeah.
He said we disagree, then we disagree.
Yeah.
So why the hell are we looking at Charlie Kirk as this Jesus-like figure? No, he's just as demonic as Erika Kirk is. So if everybody is shitting on Erika Kirk,
changing his views, you know that. Near the end, he was changing everything. He was changing everything.
Do that.
Well, you can't.
Do that.
Well,
you
don't know
do
what
that.
why can't you? Everybody
Okay.
changes their views on.
Here's the reason why.
I don't know what kind of pressure the man was under.
I don't care. All he has to do is okay. You gotta remember.
Yeah.
Nobody asked. Well, somebody probably asked him. I don't know. He didn't have to go to those schools and argue with them damn kids.
No,
it's his company. He could have stayed his ass at home. So if you do think like, you know what, I don't want to spew these lies that these people are telling me. I'm just going to stay home and just think it and feel it. And don't. You're purposely going out in the world and spewing something you don't believe in, and then you wake up one day and start saying the opposite.
So why do you think, like, near the end, he was saying he was leaving that pro
IHOP
cause? Why do you think he was saying all that then?
That's the thing that I'm confused about.
Well, that's what I'm saying. He changed his mind about a lot of things.
It's obvious that he wasn't a stupid person. Like, he was an intelligent person. So I believe at this point, with everything that everybody has learned, we can't like reasonably assume that he didn't know at least something. Like he knew to a certain level of what was happening. I think the big question is to the extent of what he actually knew, what was he complacent in, potentially what his personal involvement may have been. And I think that's really, I guess, the big question at this point, man. I think we can all sort of agree on that, because there's a lot of things that come up, and with someone who is as intelligent as he is, it would be kind of irresponsible to assume that he at least didn't have some kind of knowledge.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. If you're that intelligent, why are you allowing a group of people to, because like I said, if, like, as an example, if somebody paid me $5 million to start talking about IHOP or whatever, I'm be like, I'm not doing that. And in the negotiation side of it, I'd be like, okay, give me 3 million. I'll just get our YouTube altogether. I won't say nothing. Give me 3 million. I'll just leave the whole thing alone. I'll just get off YouTube and do some other stuff. Or I'll just get back. I'll just go back to the relationship space, and I'll just start talking about the gender war again. Okay. I'm not coming on here like, oh, IHOP is the way. And yesterday I was saying something totally different. I'll look like an idiot. You get what I'm saying? So it's the, if you are doing one thing and you start doing something else, you need to just go away. You can't turn around and go back in front of your audience and say the opposite thing. you just need to go away because now you sound stupid.
And
your
then
credibility takes a hit.
And then he also had Erika probably pushing that too, right? When he married her, because we all know I don't know. I believe that she had some Jewish ancestors. Well, we already know about Jack Solomon, right? He's a Jewish Mormon. That's her uncle. So we already know she has family members that are, right? So I'm at this point where, when did he change from his earlier days? Because he wasn't like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm telling you, I watched all his Prove Me Wrong events when he just had a table and a speaker himself. That's it. And he was just doing conservative movement. He wasn't doing anything with faith or anything like that. And so stuff changed. Okay. And maybe they infiltrated into him, and I don't know what to say. All I know is near the end of it, it became too much for him. And he's like, I'm done. I'm done with all this.
Chris
stuff.
said he was intelligent.
Pardon?
You don't know.
Yes.
Chris said he was intelligent.
Yeah.
He's aware of what's in the Talmud because the guy brought it up in the video. I had to take that part out. But the guy brought it up and he was like, "Oh, what are you talking about? You there's no place for Semites, whatever." And he literally said that. So he was like, "Hey, what about the tadpoles?" And in the Talmud, they, all this with the tadpoles. And he was like, "Oh, you're an anti-Semite." And he literally said it. So he's aware of what he's talking about. It's not like he was going to be like, "Huh? Who? Hold on, who did what? Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't hear about this." No, because he's an intelligent person.
Yeah.
I think
so one day you're okay with them eating tadpoles, and one day you're not okay with it.
Yeah, I think
I
think he knew something regarding that. That's for sure, and it was coming out, right? This is so odd, and now this this is not a war right now. Like what's happening right now? Is it? I don't know what's happening right now.
Oh, it's a war. It's missiles. It's missiles flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, is it like World War III, or is it just
we're in World War III?
Yeah. Okay.
It could be
World War III.
This is how bad things start, right? So
and like
wars last for years. So just in case you still have power doesn't mean we're not in a war.
Yeah.
Our grocery stores are still open. That doesn't mean
like
we're not in a war.
From everything that's going on right now, and I think it's just pointless that they're doing this. Whatever.
There is a lot happening domestically these days with the man on the island, and with around the CK investigation. There's a lot to need a distraction from, and this is a good distraction. Especially when you look at it's not just this incident that's been happening over the past few months either, right? Like there's been Mexico and Venezuela, and now this again. That's 3 in a row pretty quickly in the last little while. That also
in my opinion, part of this is about oil, and another part of this is about the inaction of the money. So when
access to the canal, they want access to that part.
Yeah, when we give money to IHOP for war, right? They have to go to war in order for us to get our money back. So I want you to think about this. Say I'm a drug dealer, right? Well, say I'm not a drug dealer, but I give some drug dealers guns, right? So now they have guns with the drugs, right? And now they take my guns and they go take somebody's turf, right? So at first they have a block where they're selling drugs at, and they go to war with the people that own another block. Now they have 12 blocks, right? And they use my guns that I gave them to take over those 12 blocks. So now those 12 blocks are now my blocks also. So now I could turn around and do whatever I want to do with the blocks. I could, buy the houses. I could buy the land. I can put up a store. I ain't even got to sell no drugs. I could do all this other stuff with the land, and they can still sell drugs over here. So we can split the 6 blocks. The 6 blocks is over here, they're selling drugs, and give me the 6 blocks over here, and I'm going to put up stores and real estate or whatever, right? But all together, they wouldn't have been able to take over those blocks without me giving them the guns, because all they had was the drugs. So that's kind of like what the United States are doing. They give a country that are demons and they don't care about blowing up school buses and all this other shit. They're terrible tyrants, but they don't have any guns. So give the tyrants the guns and say, all right, when you go over there and blow up all this other stuff, I want the minerals. Y'all can have the so-and-so. I just want the minerals. I want the oil. Y'all can have the whatever, right? And they start splitting up whatever it is that they take from that country. And next thing you know, United States now has more oil or more this and more that. And now, because trade and bartering is so important, they now have leverage over China when it comes to oil. They have leverage over Taiwan because of this. And now they have leverage. So in my opinion, this whole thing is about leverage. They're trying to gain leverage because, as you already know, there's been so much talk about the dollar losing its value.
Yeah.
And the dollar itself doesn't have value because it's just paper. The dollar keeps its value in what the dollar is connected to, which is oil. So as long as we have control over the oil, they can't trade oil for another denomination because the prime denomination is dollar. And they were trying to change that, but now we have it all over again because of what they're doing.
I think it's a pointless thing what they just did. So
yeah, I don't
actually.
I don't know what they're.
I disagree.
Like,
you think it's okay for them to go full attack on Iran?
No, but I don't think it was pointless. There's a reason why they're doing it. It's not pointless. I'm saying I don't agree with it, but it's not.
Yeah, there's a reason why they're doing it. I may not necessarily agree with that, but they are going to get something out of it. A little bit of that, then maybe some influence or some financial gain that won't be obtained right away. But that's, that's what happens when
everything is about leverage.
In a situation like that, you're going to be stuck there for a while. You're going to have to clean up the mess a little bit before you get any kind of return, no matter what that looks like, coming back your way. So it's not going to be a quick in and out if you expect a return, unless you've got a plan for that quick return, right?
So let me play this video. I think this is the video that explains it the best.
This time we're actually right.
Oh yeah, I posted that one.
Yeah, you're gonna have to earn our trust on this one.
How can a country of just 9 million people have such a grip on the world's biggest superpower? Why does the U.S. send $3.8 billion every year to... While Americans struggle with healthcare, housing, and student debt, why do American presidents, Republican and Democrat alike, all stand in line to promise loyalty to... The answer lies in history, politics, money, religion, and power. Today, we're going to...
And of course, the dun is IHOP. I just don't want them to say it.
Connect the dots. Let's start with the numbers. Since World War II, the United States has given over $260 billion in aid to more than to any other country in the entire world. But this isn't just foreign aid. It's a pipeline, a guaranteed, unstoppable stream of U.S. taxpayer money that flows straight into his military machine. Every year, the U.S. sends $3.8 billion to... That's about $10 million every single day. And where does it go? To fighter jets, to bombs, to tanks, to missile defense systems like the Iron Dome. All of it funded by American taxpayers. Take 2016, for example. Under President Obama, the U.S. signed the largest military aid deal in American history. A $38 billion package over 10 years.
And I actually made money off of this. I remember this. I used to work for the Department of Defense and around whatever that time was. And I remember that. And I ate off of that. So I'm gonna keep going, but I just wanted y'all to see that every president is doing the same thing. Even though I don't like Trump because of the stuff that I'm hearing in the Epstein files, right? But Trump is trash, but Obama was trash. Clinton was trash. So I just want y'all to understand that all of these presidents are the same pieces of crap. If Kamala would have won, she would have been a piece of crap president. Because guess what? None of these people can really think for themselves. No matter what president we get, they're going to do the same thing. That's why I personally don't vote for presidents. Because for what? They all going to do the same thing. So listen to what Obama did.
Locked in, guaranteed, no matter who sits in the White House. That means while Americans argue about how to pay for healthcare or education, Israel never has to worry about where its next warplane is coming from. Here's the catch. Much of this money never even leaves the U.S. By law, a huge portion of the aid must be spent on American defense companies, giants like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Raytheon. So it's the weapons, the corporations get the profits, and ordinary Americans, they get the bill. Take the F-35 stealth fighter jet. Each one costs around $80 million. The U.S. has supplied dozens to making it one of the few countries in the world with access to this next-generation aircraft. Meanwhile, teachers in Detroit buy school supplies out of their own pockets. Or consider Iron Dome. This missile defense system has received over $2.6 billion in U.S. funding since 2011. That's money that could have rebuilt crumbling U.S. infrastructure, bridges, roads, and water systems that experts say will cost over $2 trillion to repair. While it expands its military arsenal, over 500,000 Americans are homeless. While Israeli cities are shielded by U.S.-funded defense systems, tens of millions of Americans live without health insurance. So ask yourself, why does a nation of 9 million people get unlimited U.S. tax dollars while 330 million Americans are told there's no money for basic needs? This isn't generosity. It's not charity. It's an investment in war, an investment in the military-industrial.
Is an investment in turf. Is an investment in taking other people's shit.
Absolutely.
And just coming from the drug dealer world, turf, real estate, land, minerals is way more important in order to keep leverage over the other entities that are trying to do the same thing you are doing.
Someone said in the chat, God is president.
Yes, God is president. That's what I'm saying.
Complex that profits from endless conflict. And behind every dollar, every deal, every jet and missile is a network of politics, lobbying, and influence that keeps this pipeline flowing.
So is the influence, see, think about this. Say y'all had, and I'm not justifying anything.
Yeah.
Say somebody on Twitter was threatening y'all, right? And say y'all can get me to go beat them up, right? And I go and beat the person up. And then it goes out on Twitter that Mr. Let Go beat up Johnny or whatever, right? And next thing you know, you're like, man, isn't that the person that was harassing Allie? Yeah, Mr. Let Go beat up Johnny for Allie. Oh, wow. Now you have more respect because you got me to go beat up Johnny. And what happens after that, somebody else who has beef with you, they're going to second guess wanting to beef with you because I'm going to go beat them up, right? So it's kind of like that. So now you earn respect on Twitter. So all the people that was messing with you now become your friend because you have power, because now Allie has the ability to get other people to beat people up for you.
Are you going to beat someone up for me?
Chris will beat somebody up for you. You got Chris. But that's kind of like what it is. So the leverage and the power and the influence is, hey, I'm going to get the most tyrannical, disgusting humans on the planet, which is IHOP. Yeah. And I'm not saying all IHOPians are that. I mean, the tyrannical people. All right. Yeah. They don't care about human life. So we might try to negotiate. We might try, but with them, they gonna be like, right? Yeah. So now when you have a tyrannical, disgusting a group of humans that will go and do anything for anybody, you're like, all right, we're not going to mess with the United States.
Yeah. And that's the thing when you have a group of individuals that just want to selfishly indulge in what they need at the expense for others at any cost, then there's really no lengths you're willing to go through to impose your influence to obtain what you want. And, you know, that may be instantaneously happening, or it could be something that's put into motion to have an effect over a period of time. And I think what we're seeing now is a combination of both of those things sort of unfolding in real time and people shining lights on it. And it's really sort of becoming exposed these days. And we got to keep doing that, because the more we do that, the deeper we see the problems are and how long they've actually been going for.
That's well said.
Yeah. And it is, so I'm not justifying anything, but I'm just saying that they're not pointlessly going to war and all this other stuff. And in my opinion, they don't care about these damn Epstein files. You know why? Because we can't do nothing about it. Okay, the Epstein files. Okay, he did this. Okay, now what? Nobody's going to do anything about it, you know?
How many millions of people have been screaming about it? How many of arrests have they been?
None.
Like, think about it. None. Worldwide, how many millions of people have been screaming about it for how long now?
None.
Yeah, nobody's going to do anything about it. So, Museum Limited Incorporated, the people of that country are happy. Do you know anyone from there? Ask. I've seen the videos. We need to leave now and allow them to put who the people they want. I'm just reading it for what it is. Us stays. It's because IHOP is trying to take over for
themselves. All right.
Themselves evil. So altogether, I'm just having a conversation, you know, with y'all. But at the end of the day, there's two sides of every coin, you know.
Yep.
And there's a bigger side of this where I'm mainly focusing on the churches, because the churches have a lot to do with manipulating the parents and manipulating the children, you know, like
population in general.
Right. So I do want to talk about the war, you know, moving forward. I have no problem with that, but I'm probably gonna put that on Patreon. So make sure everybody join my Patreon. I'm gonna start doing videos like specifically talking about the war. But my main goal
to do it on YouTube, right?
To
talk about that on YouTube anyways. It's hard to do it to talk about all that, like even showing clips.
Well, yeah, most of the videos is explosions and, you know, people dying or whatever. So you got to be careful, because you know, you can see somebody else doing it and you have no idea that their video got demonetized. So you might see them doing it. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, look at this explosion. And next thing you know, stuff blowing up or whatever. And then your video gets demonetized. So, because nobody's going to come out and say, you know, every now and then someone, oh man, my video got demonetized. But how many videos get demonetized and I never tell nobody? I probably might tell you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They don't know.
Yeah.
Very true. Especially a stranger watching your video, you see, ooh, this is crazy. Their video probably ain't making no money, but you go take their idea, and next thing you know, you don't make no money. So you just got to be careful, because with me, I don't necessarily enjoy seeing destruction and death. And I want to just, hey, look at this death. Hey, look at this destruction. Hey, this building just blew up. Hey, I don't really want to do that. You know,
they can see it online anyways, right?
They can see it somewhere else. I don't want to turn around and bring people to my channel, even though I might get a lot of views. I don't want to contribute to the destruction of our brains, because we don't need to be seeing this.
Yeah.
I was saying the desensitization of your brain.
Desensitization also. So I don't want to do that to my audience. Like, you know, so if there's something that needs to be talked about, like we're talking about now, but just showing shit blowing up, no, I don't want to do that.
We gotta do a part 2 pastor or something. We gotta do it.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of that,
yeah,
I agree with you. Let me play this real quick.
Charlie Kirk. It became crazy.
So going back to Charlie Kirk, remember we was talking about Charlie Kirk, right? What the hell? Hold on, y'all. So it's just not gonna play? Really?
Was that the guest you had on?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Why is it not playing?
Come on, baby, play.
Wow.
Positive vibes.
I've never seen that before. Hold on. You know what? Let me play this and come back.
Is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
Somebody said I need to get this card game ASAP. Go ahead and get it. The games, I only ordered 1,000 and they're selling pretty good. I'm selling a nice amount of card games per day. So make sure you get your card game, because when I got to reorder, it takes about a month to get more in. So make sure to get your card game. And there are 2 decks in each card game. So you got a mother deck and a daughter deck. So if your mother doesn't live with you or your daughter doesn't live with you, you can send the deck to them and y'all can play the game over the phone. So if you want to get your card game, the link is under this video. The link is also in the chat. And I have a QR code on the screen just in case you're watching on your TV. So just take your phone and just walk up to your TV and boom, you'll have the QR code to buy the card game on your TV. So let's see if this video plays this time, because I've never seen that happen. It is not playing.
That's odd.
Maybe because, let's see. Looks like something's trying to work now.
I've never seen that happen. Okay, I'll just play something else. That's crazy. I've never seen it do that before.
Sometimes that happens.
So the question is, why? Is this
so this is playing, but the other video isn't playing? So okay.
Really about strategy? Or is there something far deeper? Money, power, and control?
One organization stands at the center. AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. For decades, AIPAC has been called the most powerful foreign policy lobby in Washington. Its annual conferences draw thousands of politicians, business leaders, and donors, with U.S. presidents, both Republican and Democrat, showing up to pledge loyalty on stage. But it's not just speeches, it's money. In the 2022 midterms alone, pro-Israel groups poured over $30 million into campaign donations. AIPAC's Super PAC, the United Democracy Project, spent millions to defeat candidates who criticized Israel. Even Democrats like Donna Edwards in Maryland or Andy Levin in Michigan, both targeted and beaten after questioning unconditional.
She looked like she's not with that shit. she looks like
she's about to slap him.
Right. She's like, what? I'm not doing that. Are you crazy? I got principles.
U.S. aid to Israel.
You can look at some people and tell they got principles, right? Oh my God.
The message is clear. Step out of line and you're gone. Former Congressman Paul Findley once said that voting against Israeli interests is political suicide.
So let me go a little far. There's a video I want to share. Where is it?
At the end of the last video, I remember that moment that guy was referencing.
Yeah. What video? What?
Oh, just the tail end of that last video, just that moment he was referencing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just remember that being brought up back in the day.
Physical world. Everything has to manifest in.
Okay, so let's go back to the religion.
And are not, but do lie. And I'm speaking directly to you, Rabbi Shmuley.
Judaism is the only religion in the world that our whole entire objective is not to go to heaven. It's not about spirituality. It's about infusing spiritual and physical, masculine and feminine energy. It's about this physical world. Everything has to manifest into this physical world.
We've made the decision we're going to war with Iraq. This was on or about the 20th of September. I said, we're going to war with Iraq. Why? He said, I don't know. He said, I guess they don't know what else to do. I came back to see him a few weeks later, and by that time we were bombing in Afghanistan. I said, are we still going to war with Iraq? And he said, oh, it's worse than that. He said, he reached over on his desk, he picked up a piece of paper, and he said, I just got this down from upstairs, meaning the Secretary of Defense's office today, and he said, this is a memo that describes how we're going to take out 7 countries in 5 years, starting with Iraq and then Syria, Lebanon, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and finishing off Iran. I said, is it classified? He said, yes, sir. I said, well, don't show it to me.
Why did the U.S. invade Iraq in 2003? That war came from Netanyahu, actually.
If you take out Saddam, I guarantee you that it will have enormous positive reverberations on the region.
And the guy's nothing if not obsessive. And he's still trying to get us to fight Iran this day, this week. He's a deep, dark son of a bitch, sorry to tell you. Because he's gotten us into endless wars, and because of the power of all of this in the U.S. politics, he's gotten his way.
Today, the Trump administration declared war.
Here it is, right here.
Not on a foreign enemy, but on an American company that refused to let artificial intelligence kill people without human approval. Anthropic held a $200 million Pentagon contract, and their only conditions? Don't use our technology for autonomous weapons or spy on American citizens. The Pentagon's response? Drop your safety standards or we'll destroy your business. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave Anthropic a deadline. When they refused, President Trump banned the company from all federal systems and labeled them a national security threat in retaliation. The Pentagon claims they'd never actually use AI for autonomous killing or mass surveillance, but they demand the contractual right to do it anyway. Why fight this hard for a power you say you'll never use? Because when an AI-powered drone strikes a hospital or a wedding, and it will, no general takes the blame. No secretary resigns. They point at the algorithm. The AI made a mistake. The same administration that takes zero responsibility for anything now wants a machine to blame it on. Even OpenAI's Sam Altman said he shares Anthropic's red lines. The entire AI industry agrees that humans must stay in the loop. This isn't about national security. It's about building the ultimate scapegoat that can't testify before Congress.
Wow. So when you look at going to war causes people to be afraid of what's going to happen next time, right? So when you looked at 9/11, all of that was whatever it was. I don't want to say what I think about it on YouTube because I might have problems, right? But right after 9/11, what happened? The Patriot Act. And then next thing you know, because of all of us being afraid and scared, we don't know what's going to happen. You know, George Bush came out and said, we're going to get them. We're like, yeah, go get them. We don't even know who them is. Kind of find out it was us or IHOP or whatever. But we gave up all of our we gave up our autonomy as just simple humans, because now it turned into this surveillance type of state, right? But now with this war, they're going to be like, oh my God, because of the war, this is going to happen. Like the power is going to go out.
Yeah.
Just letting y'all know right now, all power is going to go out for a certain amount of time. So I hope y'all got y'all Yetis and y'all, you know, whatever y'all need, little power banks or whatever. But power's going to go out sometime this year. And it's going to scare the shit out of everybody. And then they're going to say, well, to keep the power from going out again, we need you to do this. We need you to vote for this technology. And there's going to be some type of AI powered technology. And if you vote for this, or if you do this, sign up for this, or give us this, or stop fighting us in this, we'll make it where the power doesn't go out, even though the power has never went out before. But the second power goes out one time, we don't want it to go out a second time.
You get a chance to go through AI just came in. We have
so now they're going to say we're going to have AI power, and next thing you know, we're probably going to be paying for air or some stupid shit. So next thing you know, in order to keep something happening, we're going to have drones flying above everybody to keep us safe, so Iran can't get us or something. We're going to sign up or allow them to do something that they can't do right now because we won't let them. But let Iran in this war last for another 3-4 months, and something happens over here. We need this. Next thing you know, it's going to turn into a whole surveillance state. So, and this goes back to, guess what? Turning Point USA. Because they have the surveillance technology. Erika Kirk's mother.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of work on covering that as well. Absolutely, they do. And then with
the field fencing, the data farming, that came from Turning Point USA. And of course, Facebook. Facebook was before Turning Point USA. But yeah, the data farming. So what they literally do is something happens, and then they say, okay, to keep this from happening again, we need something from you. Vote for this. Stop fighting us on this. Give us this. Sign up for this. And next thing you know, we do it. We lose our autonomy even more. Next thing you know, we can't leave our neighborhoods, you know, a certain circumference because we got to be safe and some stupid shit like that. And next thing you know, we're slaves. So that's the reason why it's a war.
Field fencing, like what Dan was talking about, the churches. Every church you go to, they just take your information. So
yeah.
And this is a classic thing that we see repeated over time, right? You create a situation of chaos, and then you create the solution, and then you usher everybody over to the solution that you've created, giving you what they wanted from the beginning.
Yeah.
But you create a situation to either cause fear or to herd your population to what you have as your objective.
Yeah.
Do you know the first time I heard of this?
When?
Captain Planet.
True.
That's
I remember that back in the day.
Captain Planet was about keeping the planet clean. And there was a guy named Sly Sludge or something, you know, a bad guy. He came in and he poisoned the water, and nobody can drink the water anymore. And people were turning into like crickets or something when they drink the water. So the people had to stop drinking the water, and it was like, oh my God, we can't drink water. And here comes this dude pulling into the neighborhood with a truckload full of water that was $20 a damn bottle of water. And he's charging people $20 per bottle of water. So he literally caused the problem and then came in with a truckload of the solution. And then, of course, Captain Planet came in and beat him up and all this other stuff.
Yeah, and then you get paid off both ends, right? You make your profit.
Get paid on both ends.
And then you make your profit off the end.
But in this world, Captain Planet works for the United States. The Grim Greekly guy works for the United States. So everybody is in cahoots with each other.
Yeah.
Because if we did have a superhero, he would get paid off and be working for them and be against us.
Takes the cape off pretty quick, eh?
Now he'll keep the cape on, but they'll find out like he likes something. Like women, no, I don't have a penis. I'm just a superhero. I'm a superhero.
Oh my God.
Like food, I don't eat. We gonna figure something. We gonna get you somehow, and they're gonna find something he likes, and they're gonna be like, "Huh, you get all this if you do this." Okay, I'll do it, and boom.
Yeah. What's the proper bait? What's the proper bait?
Yeah.
Yep. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But yeah. But I know y'all got to go live. Y'all about to go live at 11:30.
11:45.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've got some more material to load still, but thanks for having us on.
Yeah. We got to do it again.
Yeah, of course.
You remember,
So-
we're the hands people. Don't forget us. Don't forget us.
Not
Don't
y'all are the
forget us.
hands people.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look how big that is. What is happening?
I really appreciate you taking the time to dig into the churches and spending some time on a couple episodes, because it's complicated to explain. It's difficult to talk about and show.
Yeah.
But it's important that people understand. And it's not like, go run and hide for the hills. It's just about identifying where you're going, educating yourself a little bit so you have a better understanding. So it's not like we're like, oh my God, run, don't do this, don't do that. It's just educate yourselves and read up a little bit more and just protect your mind. Honestly, protect the information that you're receiving.
Very well, nicely done. A lot of great information on these videos, and I'm going to screenshot those churches now myself because I want to look that up. But you're asking about the hands. Yeah, he's 6'5", and I'm 5'2", and we're just showing like
that was an old thing that came up a long time ago in the beginning.
Because they have no idea what y'all talking about.
Yeah.
What
are you talking about? We're talking about Erika Kirk, and she's putting her hands in the coffin, and how they're not real, and how Charlie's tall and he's tall, and the hands just don't match, guys. Yeah.
That was
Go check Aaron's video. He did a video way down about it.
Oh yeah, that was way back in the beginning. But thanks for talking about this stuff, Aaron. I really appreciate it. I know it's tough to talk about, so thanks for covering it.
Nobody really wants to talk about churches. They don't care, but I just wanted to do a second video for the people that were in my comments asking me about the churches or whatever. People want to hear about Erika Kirk and Charlie Kirk and the war and all this other stuff. They don't care about this church stuff. But this was a specific live stream specifically for the people that were worried about their churches being on that list. And a lot of the people, their churches were on the list. They just couldn't see it, and it was fuzzy and stuff. So
crazy.
Yeah. So I'm going to play the list of churches again. Thank y'all for coming on. I'm just going to show the list of churches for anybody who missed it. And if anybody wants to get the actual PDF of the list, join my Patreon. So I'm dropping a link to the Patreon in the chat. So all right, Allie, I will talk to y'all later. And they are about to go live in about 15 minutes. So go to their channel. It's Allie Top Files on YouTube.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Have a good evening.
Talk to y'all later. All right, so let's talk about the churches again. I want to make sure y'all get what y'all needed. Let's see, because some of y'all may have just been coming in. And there, make sure you hit the like button. Get this little guy out of the way. Okay, so this is a list of churches. I just want to make sure y'all get it. So screenshot or go to my Patreon where the PDF is available. And if y'all have any questions about this list of churches, ask me now or forever hold your peace, because I'm probably not going to do another church video. I'm just doing this video because y'all wanted me to. Oh, let me move this out of the way. Boom. Okay, sorry. So let me know if y'all have any questions, any concerns. Do you see your church in here? Yes or no? Put in the chat. Do you see your church on this list? What's up, Tony? And happily, I don't go to church, so I ain't got to worry about this. Arizona? Oh, most definitely. Arizona, most definitely. Arwen said, oh my God, yes. It was so many people who were saying their church is on the list. So screenshot. I'll play it again in a minute. But screenshot, or go to my Patreon. I don't want to hear no mess. You want the PDF file, go to my Patreon. It is free. Join my Patreon and have a ball with the list, and you can download the PDF there. But let me know what y'all hear, what y'all are seeing. Texas has so many. Exactly. Texas has so freaking many. Found out my ex-pastor was part of a big cover-up. Yes. See, a lot of people got mad at me. A lot of people stopped watching my channel because I started shitting on churches. And they was like, oh my God, how dare you say this about churches? I'm sorry. Churches are the place where the devil hangs out at. Not all churches, but most churches. And I don't have time to be trying to figure out which church is good and which church is bad. So they all are bad, in my opinion. So I'm playing it again. So yes, there are some good pastors. Yes, there are some good churches, but most of them are trash and they are blanking tadpoles. So if y'all want to run around trying to figure out and delineate which church is good, y'all can do it, but I'm not doing that shit. So in my opinion, all churches are trash, but that's on y'all. So either go to Patreon, sign up for my Patreon. The link is under this video. The link is also in the chat. Mr. Let Go, can I share something my homegirl shared with me? Yes. Let me know what you think. What you got? You want to come up on the show? You want to come up, or you want to just share it in the chat? What you got? Because I dropped the link if you want me to. You said you want to share something with your homegirl. You want to come up? Thank you, Arwen. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Good work, Mr. Let Go. Thank you. Here in the chat is fine. Okay. Let me know what you got. Let me know. 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 Let me know.
Involving us, what would it be? That we got.
All right. So this is my card game.
If you had one wish involving us, what would it be? That we got along better. Okay. The day that you told me, like, I was so happy for you, my mindset toward you completely changed. I think after you had her, you realized like how hard it is to be a mom. Yeah. And like when you look back at things that maybe like made you mad at me, you realize like, okay, well, that is hard.
I just bought this mother-daughter card game because I came to the realization that my issues with my mom are not resolved, so I decided to do something about it. Just played this card game with my mom and we both literally broke down crying. Here's the card game right here. Buy it. Every woman needs this. You won't regret it.
Okay, so let me read the chat. Let's see. Well, like my homegirl is part of a Catholic church. Okay. And it's crazy, but her pastor, R-worded her and got away with it. Oh, I'm so sorry. Damn, I didn't see that coming. Sheesh. Sorry your friend had to go through that. So did she call the police or? Damn. I can go in more detail, but they basically manipulated her and her family into moving away. Damn. And that's what happens with these churches. All they're going to do is just jump up and down. Well, God would rather you just do this. God forgives and you can forgive too. What would Jesus do? If he inwarded Jesus, he would forgive that person, you know, and it's just disgusting, man. It's absolutely disgusting. I hate that you went through this, but and I want to share some with you. Also, I'm glad you brought that up. Well, I'm not glad you brought that up like it's something normal, but let me show y'all this. I don't know if y'all know about this. Let's see. This is it, I believe. I think this is it. I have some very disturbing news, and I've never heard anything like this in my entire life. You've seen the thumbnail, so let's just get to it. Okay, as you can see here, church abuse and molestation insurance, SAM or SML. So this is M wording insurance. So I want y'all to think about this. This is another reason why you're never going to see me in a church unless somebody died. They have M wording insurance, y'all. Let's get to it. Okay, as you can see here, church abuse and molestation insurance, often called SAM or SML, is a specialized liability policy for churches. You see that? For churches that covers legal defense, settlements, judgments, and counseling costs resulting from allegations of sexual misconduct by staff or volunteers. It protects the church entity against negligent hiring or supervision claims. So the first thing I want to ask you is, why is this type of insurance specifically meant for churches? Have you ever heard of molestation insurance ever in your life? Why is this type of insurance offered to churches? See, a lot of people get mad at me when I start ranting about how bad churches are. Well, this is another example. And if this isn't enough proof to show you that every church has a 90% possibility, and I did say possibility, that R wording or M wording is going on in that church. There may be a small amount of good churches out there, but the majority of them have this insurance for a reason.
Sexual abuse insurance is very important for churches. Major providers like Church Mutual and Guide One specialize in it. Many insurers now require risk management, and some, like Catholic dioceses, use captive insurance. It's a standard part of most church insurance.
Let's keep going. Defense costs and settlements covers attorney fees, court costs, and potential judgments, even if allegations are false. Types of abuse protects against claims of sexual misconduct, physical abuse, or emotional injury. Who is covered? Generally covers the clergy, staff, employees, and volunteers.
This just in, a new way of healing is sweeping the country, and it's a card game called Like Mother, Like Daughter. This game is powerful.
My favorite question was, if you could parent me all over again, what would you change? This card game has a mother deck and a daughter deck, so we both have questions for each other.
These are some good questions. Do you think I'm a people pleaser? If so, where did I get this trait from?
This card game actually helped my marriage, and the questions showed me that I still had unresolved issues with my mom, and I was taking them out on my husband.
If you don't do anything else, buy this card game. You won't regret it. Click the link below.
Like mother, like daughter, we are the same. You'll see when we play this game.
This is interesting. Why churches, out of all places, why do churches have this? Like, what in the world? Why is it only meant for churches? Because the PDF files are in the churches. So this one says abuse and molestation liability coverage, ministry insurance. That is absolutely crazy. Formerly known as sexual misconduct and molestation liability, SMML, or abuse and molestation insurance. This is absolutely crazy.
But Prince, that's really none of your business. But
isn't it the business of your donors?
Listen, he made that airplane so cheap for me, I couldn't help but buy it.
Again, getting back to the comment, you said that you don't like to fly commercial because you don't want to get into a tube with a bunch of demons. Do you really believe that human beings are demons?
No, I do not. And don't you ever say I did. We wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers.
Here's the real reason churches aren't taxed. In the United States, churches are exempt from federal taxation. Because of this, televangelist Kenneth Copeland hasn't had to give the IRS a single penny of his $300 million. So why aren't they taxed like businesses? That decision comes down to the separation of church and state. In 1970, the Supreme Court ruled on the case of Walls versus Tax Commission of the City of New York, stating that exempting churches from taxes creates only a minimal and remote involvement between church and state. This decision was also intended to protect the freedom of exercising religion, and the court stated, the power to tax involves the power to destroy. So, churches and religious organizations are treated like charities and other nonprofits, many of which do community work to help the poor and generally aid in their surrounding population.
Then the year 2000 comes, George Bush hits us with the what? Faith-based initiative. He finds a loophole in federal law that allows you to finance churches. So now the mega churches and the medium-sized churches in the black community, Charlemagne, are being financed by the government. You think it's a coincidence, Indy, that you don't see no major churches involved in the miseducation movement? No major churches involved in the mass incarceration movement?
Black
No
Lives
major
Matter.
churches involved in police genocide?
Yeah.
No major churches involved in poverty? Where is the black church when it comes to black people issues? They're missing in action because they're being paid by the government to stay out of the struggle. And that's why it's called faith-based initiative. Your pastor is the new FBI agent.
Wow. So make sure to go over to Alley Top Files YouTube channel right now, or either one of the two. Watch my playlist. Hold on 1 second. Dropping that link. So either go watch Allie's show, or either if you want to watch more of my stuff, the link, it says Set Celebrity Drama Playlist. Make sure to hit that link, and I will talk to y'all later.